Hello, this is Miss Cliffner with your lesson for today. It's from Amplified Desmos Math, and it's section 1.07 or lesson 1.07. Has to do with how is the area of a triangle related to the area of a parallelogram. So you may or may not want to do this warm up, but it has to do with compare, which is how things are the same, and contrast with how things are different about the parallelogram and the triangle. And there's some things that you may notice. If you count across the base, you'll notice this is 6, and across here, this is 6. And if you count up on the height, you'll notice that this is 5, and this one from the top to the bottom is 5. So the area of this parallelogram is 30 square units, and the area of the triangle is half of that. It's 15 square units. So they have the same dimensions, but they have different areas because basically a triangle is 1/2 of a parallelogram. So now let's fill in some notes. We can find the height of a triangle just like we can with a parallelogram. You find the side that you want to label as the base first. And it's best to pick a vertical straight up and down line or a horizontal straight across. Then the height of the triangle will be a dashed line, right? It doesn't really exist. That is perpendicular to the base. If you get the slant height, that won't help you. Here's an example. Here's my triangle. This is a slant. The distance straight up and down, if I measure the triangle from the top to the bottom, goes straight down. Here's the distance, which is shorter than the slant distance. Okay, so now, for example, we're going to do a couple of these. We're going to practice finding the base and the height. So for C, if I make this side the base, then the height goes straight up from the base to the other side. It's perpendicular. D, I'm going to pick this side as the base. I go straight up to the top. This becomes the height. And now I want to also count them. So I'm going to let you, let's see, I made this the base. That means the height goes straight up to the other side. Okay, for F, this is the base. I like to start, if I have a straight across, it makes it easy. Now, when I extend this line, that's not the length of the base. It's just extending it so that it makes it easier to see what the height is. Okay, and then G, this is the base. And the height goes from the top to the bottom, and it's perpendicular. All right, I'm going to give you the numbers. You should pause this. Well, actually, let's just count the first one. 1, 2, 3, 4. The base is 4 units, and the height is 1, 2, 3. 3 units. The base for D is 1, 2, 3 units, and the height is 1, 2, 3, 4. Ooh, you're kind of noticing that they're have the same dimensions for base and height. Okay, so try these for E and F. I'm going to give you the answers. You could pause the video and check it. 6 units, and then I got 4 units, and then 3 units, 3 units, 6 units, and 4 units. Now, a lot of times on F, what happens is, I'm going to erase this. A lot of students make this mistake. I'm putting this in blue. They count starting here because they see that the the triangle goes through that square, and they count 1, 2, 3, 4, and they count inside, and they make a mistake because what we're doing when we count the squares along the bottom is we're actually just measuring the length of the base, and we measure the length of the base from end to end, which is why you see me drawing these points so that I don't actually count that. See, that's not part of the base. Okay, next. This is a little yo. You're going to try a few of these and see how you do. So you're going to determine the base, the height, and the area. So I'm going to start with I. Ooh, and I'm going to make a little note to myself. The area of a, area of a parallelogram is base times height. But the area of a triangle is 1/2. So you do base times height divided by 2. Okay, so I'm going to start with J first because it's a parallelogram, and you guys know what to do with that. I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Go to J, and I put 5 units for the base. I count down from the top, 1, 2. The height is 2 units. 5 times 2 is 10 units squared. And then when I come to I, you might have noticed that I looks like the half triangle, half of J. So it's going to have the same dimensions. The bottom is 5 units, the base and the height from here to here is 2 units. So 5 units and 2 units, but here's the math I need to do for a triangle. 5 times 2 is 10, but then I'm going to divide by 2. So the answer for this one is 5 square units. I want you to pause this, try it on your own, and then I'm just going to show you the answers. Okay, so for K, and then also for L is a triangle. And I always try to do things that will help me not make mistakes. I and L both need to be divided by 2 because it's half of a parallelogram. Okay, so K is 5 units times 2 units, 10 units squared. L is 4 units times 5 units, but it's a triangle. It's not 20, it's only 10 units squared. M is 4 units times 5 units is 20 units squared. And N is also 4 units times 5 units. It's 20 units squared. And I'm just going to show you with N just to make sure you understand what I'm doing. I go from N to N and I count the distance in squares. It's 4. And then the height goes from the top straight down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so hopefully, oops, that's the end of the notes. That's it.